so I always love to begin. Are you being loved?
Yes. Yes.
Are you being loved?
Yes.
Is there more than enough love in this room?
Yes.
Spread it like wildfire. Sometimes, just based on the nature of our routines and habits, we know that we are loved. We know that we are being loved. But somehow we forget, are we conscious and aware I am being loved in this moment? How do I serve His love? Our theme for 2016 is transformation. Do you feel it? Because I see it. And for this month, our theme is revealing your spiritual archaeology. And today's lesson is excavating false beliefs from the subconscious. So let me break that apart a little bit. Of course, excavating, digging up the bones of our false beliefs. And how do you know when you have false beliefs? Anyone? Suffering. Life's challenges, right?
Fear.
Fear. When you're in fear, anxiety, separation, resentment. You know that those are, quote unquote, the truths that you want to line up to, and it demonstrates in your life. And if you were living your true, the true beliefs, the truth of what we know with capital T, you would be living heaven on earth. Do you believe that's possible?
Yes. Yes.
Excavating your false beliefs. Not everybody said yes to that question. Maybe that's a place to begin, maybe. So let's first begin with subconscious mind. Many of our Science of Mind classes talk about conscious mind, subconscious mind. And I just want to remind those of you that have taken classes, and for those of you that haven't taken classes, you will notice that Al, as town crier, mentioned we have quite a few classes going on. The power of decision didn't get enough people deciding to take that class. So we'll postpone that one until January. The subconscious mind permanently stores everything that's ever happened to you in your life, your thoughts, your experiences, your emotions. You may not be able to recall them, but they live in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is what's called subjective. That is, it doesn't think by itself or reason by itself. It just says yes to everything your conscious mind says. You're never enough. Yes. You're not worthy. Yes. You don't have enough education. Yes. You're afraid that that might happen. Yes. Or you are divine. Yes. You are worthy. Yes. You are the love of God, divine expressing in this life. Yes. You are abundance. Yes. You are joy. Yes. Peace. Yes. You got my rhythm. So your conscious mind is the gardener planting seeds, thought seeds, in your subconscious mind, which is the soil. And those thought seeds then germinate and grow flowers or weeds. And our job or our work is to maybe excavate those weeds and replace them with, I'll say, flowers.
And vegetables.
And vegetables too. Absolutely. Feed your soul. Excellent. I love that. That's good. So your subconscious mind makes everything you see, say, and do fit a pattern that's consistent with your self-concept or the beliefs you have about yourself in your subconscious mind. So, side note, when you were a kid, how did you develop those beliefs?
By absorption.
By absorption of those that, you know, from age 1 to 3 is when a large part of the development happens for us. And we're not just picking up the words, but the tones, the emotions, the innuendos. We are picking up the energy from those that are around us. Now, those that are around us, we look up to as God. Why? Because you've been hopefully cared for. Because they seem to have the answers. They have the power. Who has that power now? Right.
We do.
You do. But have you used that power to replant those seeds that are in your subconscious mind based on what the other adults in your life thought was true for them? So also your subconscious mind, through the autonomic nervous system, maintains a balance among hundreds of chemicals in billions of your cells. Did you know there was that universe inside you? The intelligent universe breathing through you in this very moment. And your mind, not your brain, your mind sets in the brain the ability to change the chemistry in your body. And you might say, how's that so? If I asked you to spend 5 minutes with your eyes closed really thinking about a really happy time in your life, scientists would be able to actually see areas of your brain light up and different things, different kinds of endorphins in your body. Then if I were to flash up on the screen a scary image, immediately the brain takes it in. Again, the mind, based on what you see and interpret in that image, creates the brain. The brain creates then the chemistry in your body that, again, scientists can see. Do you understand how you are creating your reality?
Yes.
You didn't know you were a lab experiment, did you?
Yes.
So all your habits and all the thinking and acting that you've done are stored in your subconscious mind, and it's all been memorized and is now in your comfort zone. Where, based on a few things I will say in a few minutes, in your comfort zone where you grow old. Your subconscious mind causes you to feel emotionally or physically uncomfortable whenever you attempt to do anything different or change an established pattern or behavior. Now, Johnny could tell you, because she's been teaching the mind class, and I know we'll be having her teach you some more, but when you're continuing just to do the same thing over and over and over again, you get what's called I'm going to call it a rut in your brain. A rut in your brain. And that's where some limitations, and maybe where life is demonstrating for you in ways that you want it to be different for you. Or even if life is good, would you not want more goodness? So now, what about excavating your false beliefs? All right, fill it in. It is done unto you as you... Who said that? Was there, Jesus started with that in the Bible, or, you know, I guess you could say whoever had written the Bible was Jesus' words. Now, was there any scientific evidence for that at that time? No. Let me hear you. Are you engaged? The mind is everything, and what you think you become. Who said that? Buddha. Buddha said that. Was there any scientific evidence when Buddha was around? No. Okay, I'll get a little more contemporary, but just a little. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich and published it in 1937, had sold over 20 million copies by 1970. And of course, that book spoke and examined the power of personal beliefs and the role they play in personal success. And I happened to look him up, and I didn't know that he was an advisor to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was fascinating. And his famous expression is, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Well, today there is scientific research, a lot of neuroscience research happening. My daughter, we picked her up yesterday from UCLA, and she just got through with a neurobiology class, and I was like, will you come do my lesson? It's just wonderful to be able to talk with her and exchange about that. And let's talk about excavating your first belief. There is a very popular book that came out just a year or two ago called Mindsets. Anybody see or read that book? Okay, just a couple of us in the room. Carol Dweck is a renowned Stanford University psychologist. She did decades of research on achievement and success, and she says, with a simple idea that makes all the difference. In a fixed mindset, people believe their basic qualities, like their intelligence or talent, are simply fixed traits. They spend their time documenting their intelligence or talent instead of developing them. They also believe that that intelligence and or talent alone creates success without effort. However, in a growth mindset, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed. A process. Through dedication and hard work, brain talent is just the beginning. And hence, in knowing that the mind can grow, that you can develop your brain, this view creates a love of learning, a resilience that is essential for accomplishment. It goes on to say virtually all great people have had these qualities. They know with their growth mindset that it's a process, it's development. And teaching a growth mindset creates motivation and productivity in business, education, sports, and she did not mention spiritual development, but I will. It even enhances relationship. So, you know, as you read the book, if you were to read the book, Dweck and her colleagues studied 373 students, and she goes through explaining that they found that as they taught with the growth mindset, those that felt that they could develop, they literally, from the beginning of 7th grade to the end of 8th grade, found those students actually raised a whole grade point average, while those with a fixed mindset remained the same. They've also discovered that it's been shown before taking an IQ test, people who read an article saying that the IQ is changeable instead of fixed based on genes, that the IQ scores improve for those who believed in a growth mindset. So maybe we should all be using that little engine that could affirmation. I think I can, I think I can. So we talked briefly about the false beliefs that perhaps your parents or your caretakers or teachers or who knows, whoever you were surrounded by, as you continue to take that in. And in many cases, excavating might think you need to go back through your trauma. And you don't have to, all right? You don't have to go back through that trauma. But there is a message in what happened there. And let's be honest, it's difficult to go back to a space where you were traumatized and it means something emotionally to you. It's hard then to detach in order to see the message. Okay? And so in moving beyond some limited beliefs, we want to supplant them with the truth. But because it's in our subconscious mind, sometimes we can't recall, oh, I know why I'm having problems paying the bills. It all comes back to me now. It's when my dad said money doesn't grow on trees. Actually, there was probably more than one message that you got about that. Or if you've had multiple lovers leave you, it's painful. And it's hard to get the message when you're in that emotional state. So, how does this really work? Thank you, Reverend Michael, for putting this together for me. So, you're born with a subconscious mind that doesn't have yet any beliefs, or I don't know, maybe in utero it happens, but I don't have scientific research for that. So, and in that at least first 3 years are very elementary. You are told you're not enough, you're not valued, you'll never be smart enough, you'll never add up to anything. And those become a part of your belief. Now, the first thing is, did the water reject those thoughts?
No.
Neither did your subconscious mind. And part of that was, because when you're younger, you didn't have the power, the knowledge to deny that. So it has become a part of you, part of the subconscious mind. And now can you just excavate it? Can you take all those little particles of glue out of there? No. So what is it going to take? Well, I went to the Chico New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, and I got a treatment. Did it work? Sort of. Now, treatment always works because thoughts are things.
Yeah.
Did I just dilute what was there before?
Yes.
And sometimes it's not obviously demonstrated sometimes. And sometimes things will even improve, but hasn't fixed the situation. Right? Oh. It hasn't fixed the situation because there was one thought, barrel of monkeys, that then led to another thought, which then led to a few other thoughts, and your life circumstances have been built on beliefs that led to other beliefs that led to other beliefs, right? And so, really, can't forget this part, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. A lot of people familiar with this book? Yes. For those of you that aren't familiar with this book, we do have some in the bookstore, and it looks very different now. Louise Hay is an author who had cancer, and I'll just say is in the Principles of Science of Mind. And, I know that when I started out, Reverend Dr. Carolyn McEwen was up here, and I came and I couldn't get enough of the great things that she was saying about my truth, and it rang true to me. But asking me to do treatment was coming up with language that I hadn't learned. This is a great book for picking up more of the language so that you can then take it and shape it and create it for yourself. Now, the spiritual mind treatment, our affirmative prayer, has 5 steps. And you start with your highest thought of what you think God is, or if you don't want to call it God, spirit, higher power, whatever you want to name it. And then you recognize your unity with that one source living in you, as you, through you, in the expression you are today. And if you know that, then what do you know about your health, your abundance, your relationships, your job, or whatever else is being demonstrated in your life? And as you practice your spiritual, as you do your spiritual practice, it takes a little discipline to keep it up. Maybe a class, maybe a book, maybe a community. What's happening to that water?
It's diluting the...
It's getting lighter. Okay, so I shouldn't have put so much blue. It's lightening up. You get the meaning, don't you? So spiritual mind treatment is always working. And you may not see the full demonstration in the way that you want to see it. But I guarantee you, via discipline, doing your spiritual practice, continuing to transform, isn't that our theme? Transform your subconscious beliefs. You will see change demonstrate because your mind has worked with your brain to change the chemistry of how you react to things in your life. And I always still continue, you're going to always hear me say this, reach for Einstein's view when there is a situation where I'm doing treatment, and I have to remind myself that no problem can be solved by the kind of thinking that created it. That I, through the truth, need to look at the situation from a whole new perspective. TSW, this stuff works. Now, of course, you may still get frustrated, and there may still be aspects of your life that do improve, and I talked about books and classes, etc. I didn't finish this book yet, but this book by Deepak Chopra and his friend Rudolph Tanzi, Super Brain, Unleashing the Explosive Power of Your Mind to Maximize Health, Happiness, and Spiritual Well-Being. I believe our founder, Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, would have loved this book. Because Deepak is using science to talk about truth principles, which of course, it's not like Science of Mind has the corner on truth. And there's a couple things that I want to highlight. The author expresses why it's important to keep learning no matter what age you are. In the same way that we must stretch our muscles to stay fit, we must stretch and expand our minds to stay young. Because if we're not expanding our minds, we're in these neuronal pathway ruts, executing the same thing over and over again, which then starts limiting our mental capacities. So he even talks in here about how keeping your learning new things creates new synapses, which can, in the long run, prevent Alzheimer's, is what he's getting at. But you have to keep in mind that you are not your brain, you are more than your brain. You and your mind are the brain's leader. And if you're not learning, your brain's not evolving. And in quotes, I take it, he says, in the end, that's one thing worth remembering. And he talks about three states of mind. The unconscious mind, which passively receives all kinds of input and stimulus, but when you're unconscious, it's just automatic, and your emotions are in control. Again, the subconscious mind is in control based on your beliefs or what happened, and you're reacting. Things are happening to you. The second state of mind is awareness. Of course, you are aware when you're doing things, you're paying attention, you're making decisions, you're making choices. And in that state of mind, you can put emotion into perspective, such as instead of, if you're angry and acting out, you're in your unconscious mind. If you say, I am angry, you have become aware of your emotion. Aware of what's happening in you, not to you. And the third state of mind is self-awareness. How is this going for me? This state of mind allows you to really transcend the emotion and let the emotion be a messenger without letting it take over. And therefore, reaching a higher level of understanding and meaning about your life, you begin to see life happening for you. Anybody interested in any of this? Can I see a hand? Yeah. Okay. Well, here's a whole bunch of books. Now, I'm half serious and half not. I'm half serious in that, seriously, these Eckhart Tolle, Michael Brown, The Presence Process, Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, and yes, SQ21, for those of you who are getting tired of me bringing this one up, The 21 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence. Give you exercises, spiritual tools, so that you can move yourself from what's in your subconscious mind that's not serving you into the truth of your being, which means you will see life is for you. One last thing. Sometimes we don't know how we've gotten lost in our life, the life issues that are facing us, and we start shrinking into them and let them begin to belittle us. One thing I know for sure is we do have the knowledge and the power to expand our mind and our understanding if we're willing to learn something new. Then life can become more meaningful. So, may the spirit of your higher understanding lift you up in truth so that you can discover the power and the divinity that is within you. Namaste.